So to summarize it, in this case, let's see what happened. In this situation, you have the number of data point capital N is equal to 8, which can be expressed as 2 to the power R. And that means R must be equal to 3. Well, because R is equal to 3, that's why you have to calculate 3 intermediate vector, which we call f sub 1, corresponding to level L equal to 1. Calculate f sub 2, corresponding to level L equal to 2. And calculate vector f sub 3, corresponding to L equal to 3. Now, so what is the starting point? The starting point is we know the value of f0, f1, f2, f3, f4, blah, 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 all the way to up to f7. So we know all of this value here. We know all of this value. It is a given data by the user because those are the function value corresponding to the periodic function at some discretized time. So you know those 8 values for the function f. How do we calculate the intermediate vector f1? Well, remember, this is a case where the level L equal to 1. What does that mean? Remember the formula that I told you earlier? For any level L, we have the formula which say something like n divided by 2 raised to the power L. So in this case, capital N is equal to 8 divided by, if capital L equal to 1, 2 to the power L become 2 to the power 1. And therefore, this guy is equal to, this ratio equal to 4. And that number 4 right there, what it means is you will calculate F10, F11, F12, F13. You calculate the first 4 guy. Then, the reason you calculate the first 4 guy because that ratio equal to 4. You calculate the first 4 guy, and then the next 4 guy you will skip. And the reason you skip is because I said many times when you calculate F10 with a little bit addition, you can calculate also F14, you know, at the same time. And that's why when you go to this place, you don't have to compute it. Similarly, when you compute F11, instead of a plus of the product, if you say minus the product, you can compute this F15. That's why later on you don't have to compute it. So that is what it means in the first level. Now, what happens when you talk about, let's say, the second level, L equal to 2? When L equal to 2, this formula becomes 8 divided by 2 to the power 2. And 2 to the power 2 is 4, so 8 divided by 4, that is equal to 2. So what it means is, in level L equal to 2, what you want to do is, you compute 2 guy. Let's say, compute F20, F21, and then you skip the next 2. And then you compute the next 2 guy, F24, F25, and then you skip the next 2 guy. And the reason you skip this guy, F22, is because when you compute F20 with a little bit more effort, you can get this guy, you know. And finally, when you have the level F to L equal to 3, this ratio n divided by 2 to the power 3 become 8 divided by 8, which means equal to 1. And that value 1, what it means is you calculate this guy F30 and you skip it. Then you calculate this guy F32 and then you skip it. And you calculate F34 and then the next guy you skip it. So that is the pattern. You calculate this guy and then the next one you skip it. So you can see the pattern, right? It's very clear. For level 1, you compute 4 term and you skip 4 term. For level 2, you compute 2, you skip 2, you compute 2, you skip 2. For level 3, You compute one, you skip one. You compute one, you skip one. You compute one, you skip one. You compute this term, you skip the next term. That is the pattern. And that is the end of the lecture. Here's the acknowledgement.